Hello, hello.
Hey,
How's
kid,
everyone doing today?
what's going on? How's everything going?
It's good. I put up the notification that the show was going to be today because I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot to do all that." That's why you see for all of the other shows in the studio because I was like, "Oh shit, let me go ahead and do this." Because baby, with this transition to a permanent Amtrak employee, they're like, "Oh, so we got your ass now, huh? Okay. Now that we got you, okay, so they be work. Well, you know what? I don't know that it's any more work, but since I decided that, this is going to be the place that I'm going to try to retire from, you know, listen, girl, just between me, you, and the wall, and eccentric and Desmond, girl, I'm trying to be a vice president in 3 to 4 years.
Well, girl, I don't think that's an impossibility. So I mean,
So
like,
I'm gonna have to work a little bit, but no, I mean not real hard, but it just feels like I've just been tired and it's just getting used to it. So it's
let me
all
tell you
good.
something. It's. I think it's going around because this week has been an interesting week already.
Hmm.
Up at the brain factory, as we're gonna call it, because they're building minds of young peoples.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's been interesting, and I have been literally so drained, and I was coming home like, oh my god, when you text me, I was like, yes. Ah!
Oh, look, it's our baby Parker. Parker's here.
Hey,
And Luby, and we already said hello to Desmond and
eccentric. Hey,
eccentric.
Des. What's going on? But yes, it's something in the water, and the one thing that's starting to annoy me, and I get it because I haven't picked up the full swing yet. But
Hmm.
I go to somebody with one issue, and I
Hmm.
say, this is the issue. I've identified what the issue is. If I said today's issue is, I have a student that came in and they only had one box of emergencies, and that's all they had. And they're trying to get two more boxes. Who can I
Hmm.
get them from? Don't sit back and have a conversation with me about where you ordered the boxes from, where they came from, how many you ordered, where they were supposed to go, and how I wound up with the box. Answer my question.
Right. We ain't got all day.
That's so I find myself all day doing this. I'm like, so this is my question. They're like, they would go into this whole diatribe, and I'm just like,
Right.
and on the inside, I'm screaming like shit.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I think it's something. It's just this time of year, and
Hmm.
yeah, that's
Is this time of year. And I really do need to take my fat ass to the gym and start, building up like core strength and other things. So I think
all right.
I'm going to try to make that happen. But so in addition to all of the other stuff that's going on, there's nothing bad, but I'm finding myself annoyed by people at work. And here's what's annoying me. So we got this one person who talks over everybody
Oh, I
in
hear
the
both
meeting.
of
And the worst part of him talking, so when you're the boss, I'm gonna just put up with it because you're the boss. But bitch, you're not the boss. But you walk
them.
around.
But many of bosses will defer to a good idea if it's coming out. They'll be like, oh, wait a minute,
Right, but I'm saying when you're the boss, I'm gonna let it slide because you signed the paychecks and the
yeah.
timesheets and stuff, so I'm gonna let it go. But girl, you're not the boss for one, and two, half the shit you say is wrong. So that's doubly annoying to me. So when we met last week, so this was like last Thursday, he started talking some shit, and he was like, "Well, so and so said this, and so said that, and we're going to move to this." And I was like, "Who are you getting this direction from?" "Oh, well, I'm meeting with the VPs," and I was like, pause. Stop. So I said, I use my old tried and true. Let me be perfectly clear here.
Boop.
No further action is to happen on this project until I consult with my boss, and then we together consult with the big boss, who is the VP. And then I did my have I made myself clear? And then I paused and waited for something to fill that silence, because I know he was sitting like, who does this motherfucker think he is? And as soon as we finished the meeting, I clarified who I am. I said, this project is sponsored by Digital Technology. That's the group that I manage. Sponsoring means that we own the budget. Therefore, do not have any meetings on project number XYZ ABC that does not include me. Because when the shit goes south, you'll be gone somewhere. They'll be
And you are left responsible and trying to answer
asking
questions.
like, well, what's going on with this project? And so no, I can't have that. And so then we met today, and everybody tried to play nice because I didn't really want to be a dick about it. But I was like, girl, I'm in charge of this, and I've already seen it go south on not projects that I manage, but other projects where you let team members start taking over and shit. And that's cute in the meeting, but then you're still the one that's got to report on it. You're still the one that has to explain why you're over budget by 25% this month. So, hey, Mrs. Sugar Snap, how are you?
Hey,
So
I didn't
there
see
is
you
that.
down
And
there.
then,
Oh my God.
so another of my teammates, Chow, we be on the call, and he'll start talking about his wife and his kids and the dog and all sorts. And I'll be sitting there like, I don't give a shit about none of this. I don't. I feel like Asian Doll. You know that song by Asian Doll? I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. About none of that shit. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. And I'd be like, okay, so back to the thing at hand, because I don't have long meetings. My meetings are only 30 minutes whenever possible. And because of that, that means we can't spend 15 minutes you talk about your pets and your dogs. And I find that heterosexuals do it with their spouses and their kids and their pets. The gays do it with their pets. And I don't care about none of that. I don't care, I don't care.
That little Fifi he went in the
Right.
corner and he grabbed
And
his
isn't
toy.
it just the cutest thing? No, I don't give a fuck.
He was shaking and shaking and shaking, and I
We are here to work. And this
but
is why
I have pictures of Fifi.
I don't care. And this is my thing.
Fifi cares.
My
Fifi
thing,
matters.
my thing is that I bust my ass and work hard between 8 and 5, and I clock off no later than 5:15. And the reason I can do that is because I am working between. Now, listen, I'm also on my phone and fucking around, but I still manage to be super productive. And that is because I ain't got no kids. I don't have no children. I got kids. I don't have no children. I don't have no. I got a boyfriend, but he don't live with me, and I certainly don't have no dogs.
Listen.
Parker says he's that homosexual that be like, oh, he just did the sweetest thing. And I know Parker's coworkers being the mean.
Clear,
that dog is the
Pixel
cutest.
is cute as shit. So
Pixel is cute as shit.
We're gonna give Pixel a pass. He is cute, so we're gonna give Pixel a pass. But but that part right there, that leap, like when the day is over, it starts to annoy me because I'm getting ready to start closing our office a little bit earlier because I'm finding that when I did the job,
he said pixel this and pixel that.
Yeah, when I was doing the job that the counselors are doing, I hate how people try to come in at the last minute. So if we close at 4:00, don't come in there at 3:59 with some long fucking problem that's not a quick answer, and you want us to stay till 4:30. Our doors close at 4:00 or 5:00, whatever time they close, and that's it. So if you have a question, then you need to come earlier because if you think it's going to be longer, or you can reschedule and we can set up an appointment for you virtually. You ain't got to come in. So whatever works for you. So that's one of my issues, and I'm trying to work with my staff on that because today when I left out, it was first of all I was supposed to get off at 4:30. It was 5:15, and I'm walking out the door, and I still see one of my counselors out there talking to two people, one at his desk and one in the hallway, and I'm sitting there saying to myself,
"Girl, I would have dipped around so they didn't even see me."
But I have to walk past them. So as I was walking past them, I heard the conversation. Then I was like. And I'm sitting there as tired as I was, and I had a headache. I turned around. I said, you know what? Let me get off this elevator because I can't do this. Like, I'm not going to do that. And I walked back out, and I was like, can I help you in some way, shape, or form? He's like, no, I got it. And the guy was walking away. So the young lady that was still left in there, I said, okay, well, great. Do you need help with her? He's like, no, I got it. I'll be fine. I was fine. I was like, listen, do not stay late. Do not
Right.
stay late. Like, we're not doing that. Like,
Because then people will be like, oh, yeah, we can come up to that office. They always open late. No,
don't
girl,
do
we are
that.
absolutely
Don't do
are
that.
not. Mm-mm.
And I will politely tell people, and I hate when people come into my office and start asking me questions while I'm in the like I'm in the training all week, and people were like, "Hey, my computer's on. You hear everything?" It's like, "Hey, I got a question." I'm in the training.
Girl,
Like,
keep the door closed. Listen, I'm sitting there. It's like 5:15, and I look. Oh, shit! It's 5:15. So let me wrap it up. Because if I'm in the middle of something, I will not literally stop right there. I will come to a stopping point.
yes,
But or I will realize, well, girl, this isn't going to get finished in the next 20 minutes, so we'll just put a pin in this, leave the document open. I'll put a note that says left off here or some shit, and then be done with it. Well, around 5, it was like 5:25, 5:30. One of my coworkers called me, and girl, I looked at that phone I let the girl ring for a good 3 or 4 rings. I was like, girl, it is 5:25.
yeah, like we're not doing that. Like, what? No, I'm not.
So I answered it reluctantly. I'm like, hey. And he's like, oh, I just wanted to tell you something real quick. And this is one that will talk forever, but I'm training him. It's like, listen, girl, get on the phone, say what you got to say, and get the fuck off.
My boss did that to me the other day. She called me and I was just like, "Girl, what are we doing?"
Desmond says, give it a try at the next meeting. Just say, Ashala Kantala. Ashala Kantala.
Ishalakantala.
Ishala Kantala. Ishala Kantala. Girl, I'm not trying to lose this good job.
Yeah, no. I'm not trying to lose my good job. No.
Yeah, so I put up with it, but what I do is train people not to be bothering me. And I tell them in the meeting, I was like, I work hard from 8 a.m. to 8:30. Well, 8:35 or so.
Hande ibibi ashando. I cannot with y'all.
So yeah. So anyway, but overall it's good. And did I mention that they paid the babe already?
So listen, money's always good.
So I was sitting around, we are post blackout, so everything for blackout. I was like, just put it on the American Express. Girl, just put it on the American Express. The sign and sale card. Well, you need to put a credit card on your or a debit card on your sign and sale. Girl, just put it on American Express. And all I was thinking about was points. And then then I was like, oh, girl, I forgot you got to pay. You got to owe money to get points. So I started paying her down. And then, I'm not going anywhere until Friday. When I get paid, I should be getting the next to the last paycheck from the job I just left. And
Right.
then, but today I saw some, I'm in love with the container store. So I was like, let me get these containers. So I got these containers, and it was only like $60 or something. And it was on Afterpay. So it was only like 4 payments of $15. But in this one account, I was like, was there $15 in it? I was like, okay, it's money in this account, so we're good. But then when I went to go open the account to confirm that there was at least $15 in there, I was like, there is $900 in this account. What the fuck? Bitch, Amtrak had already paid me for the first week, and we ain't even finished the first week. It said, and then I went on the payroll, and I was like, make sure this wasn't a mistake before I spend this money, and had them come like, oh, we're going to dock your next check because you weren't supposed to get paid. And then I was like, pay period October 24th through the 30th, and then the gross pay and the net pay. So I was like, bitch, they already done paid me, and I ain't worked a week.
That's all right though. They listen. You was wondering why they was working your ass because they knew they was going to pay your ass early.
Right. In exchange for this early paycheck, we about to work your ass in these 3 days like it's been a whole week.
It's been one whole week. We're gonna get our money about you.
All right. So that's good. And so I felt I felt good about that. She's got some cute little benefits too.
Well, that's good.
So everything's coming out lovely.
So I wanted to take a minute before we got into the show and talk about the super fans and in the group. Every day we're going to try to post something because every day there's always some foolishness and fuckery, and I'm inviting all of the super fans to post some foolishness and some fuckery inside of the chat. So if you're in the Superfans group, you notice that I posted a picture or several pictures today of the foolishness and the fuckery that greeted me, and it wasn't even 7:30 in the morning. So here
I
I
think we
am.
need to add some more people to the Superfans group.
We
So I'm
do. We
I'm in
absolutely
it
do.
now. Let's see.
But hold on, let me finish with this.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even 7:30 in the morning, and I'm greeted with bass coming through my car door, which is through the car door of this car that was coming in front of me, and the extra lights, sounds, and three-dimensional objects that were hanging off of the car. And it's not even 7:30 in the morning.
Right.
Ugh. Foolishness and fuckery. So I invite you all in the Superfans to go ahead and post your foolishness and fuckery of the day. Hashtag FNF or foolishness. Either way.
Yes. Oh, we also, I guess we can do it next week. I'm behind the curve. I was supposed to be finding a theater for us to go see the Black Panthers on
November the 11th.
November the 11th. So I'll figure that out.
Alrighty. So
And
stay
then
tuned.
I'll post it in the Superfan groups, and then also we'll need to get something. You know what we can do?
Well, wait a minute. Before we go with that, if you're trying to go into the Superfans group, and we see that there's a lot of people in here, we know that you all have been coming in every single week. Just so you know, the BGKH Superfans group, we chat very often.
A lot
Of conversation. So if you're one of these people that don't want your phone to ring and you don't want your Facebook Messenger going off, then I will definitely suggest you do not partake in being a part of the Superfans. However, if you are in the Superfans and you know how everything goes, that's great. But if you would like to be in the Superfans, shoot us an email so we can actually add you into Superfans, and we'll add your Facebook profile. And so that you'll be able to, not your Facebook profile, your Facebook account and your Facebook Messenger, you'll be in the group. So just shoot us an email. We'll actually try to go in and add you in, probably as early as tonight, maybe sometime tomorrow. But again, we'll get you into the group. So, but anyway,
yeah, you can email me at dominiononyx@gmail.com, or actually
they can use the BGKH email.
do we have chow, I'd be forgetting.
They can use
You
the
know my mind is bad.
The BG.
And I was thinking to myself, don't we have an email address? But I couldn't remember what the fuck it was.
We do.
So I was just like, sure, just use that one, girl. I don't give a fuck.
We haven't forgotten you, any of you, if you emailed us at that address. We just haven't, we just been a little busy.
No, we've not received any emails. So I'm looking at it right now.
Cruise brain, that's all. We've been in cruise brain. That's okay.
Child, that cruise got me all the way together. All right. So if you want to be in the Superfans group on the Facebooks, you can email us at bgkhshow@gmail.com and include whatever.
Come on, Louboutin. As an added bonus, you get to see Eccentric's fine ass in a football uniform.
Well, if you came to Blackout, you got to see it up close.
Yes, indeed, that too. Mm-hmm.
And we got to see Louboutin's fine ass in his carnival ensemble.
Carnival look. Look.
So if you want to be in the BGKH show Superfans group on the Facebooks, just email us at bgkhshow@gmail.com and include whatever name you want to use on your Facebook profile so we can add the right person.
Yep. So, but you were going to say something else. You were going down talking about going to see Black Panther, and then you were going to go to something else.
I was just saying that was it. For those super fans who are in the DC metro area, we're going to do an in-person taping and sort of Thanksgiving appetizer dinner thing on the Wednesday, the 23rd, which is actually our 200th episode. So it's going to start a little early. It's going to start having, dinner's going to be like around 6:30, and then the show will be at the normal 8:00 time, and it'll be our celebration of the 200th show. So, if you're going to come, let us know, but you got to bring something. Let's just be clear. It's a Thanksgiving, and just like the Indians and the Pilgrims brought something. So we'll talk about that in a minute.
I feel like I'm ready to do some makeup. I'm great, like looking for my cheekbones to kind of, I don't know, having a moment. Anyway, so the weeks, or both of our weeks, sound like they were actually very, very, very
Hmm.
full. So we don't necessarily need to jump into that, but let's jump on into some of these stories for the evening, and then we
We
have
are.
we can,
I'm sorry. Remember the conversation we was having earlier? We're having
yeah,
a side conversation now.
okay. Um, well, let's jump into some of these stories, and we can come back to other things, including that afterwards. So, let's see what's going on in this world here. We got a couple stories. So, listen, for all of you that are watching the show, have you been watching Harlem? Really, really, really
I
good
have
show.
not.
Really, oh my god, really, really good show. So the first season was amazing, but Harlem season 2 cast, they have been revealed, and they've added Countess Vaughn and Rachel True and a few more people. So Deadline reported that Rick Fox, Sherry Shepard, Countess Vaughn, and Lil Rel Howery will guest star along with Rachel True, Courtney Carter, and Luke Forbes, who will be recurring. Now, here's a little bit of information on their characters. Like, True will play Amy, and she's going to be the earthy, airy proprietor of a plant store in Harlem. Um, she and Ty develop an unlikely friendship. That's how they coined that here. Carter will play Zoe, a self-assured player with a history of breaking hearts, and Forbes will play Michael, a handsome and professional real estate agent who Quinn's mother, Patricia, who's played by Jasmine Guy, blindly tries to match Quinn, Grace Byers, up with. Now, Fox will portray Quinn's devoted father, Phil, a wealthy guy who enjoys having his daughter play golf with him on his birthday. Shepard is going to be Angie's, Shaniqua Shadai's noisy, adoring mother, Sonia, who is also Angie's biggest supporter and cheerleader, and Vaughn will play herself. So we already know that she's already a handful with that. Howery's going to be Freddie, Angie's stepbrother, a vivacious, encouraging person who is thrilled to see Angie. Now, there's been no release date on season 2, but this has been reported by Shadow and Act as well on their website. That again, we don't have an actual release date, but again, Harlem season 2, they've cast new people into the series, so I'm looking forward to that. And for those of you who have not checked out season 1, definitely go online and check out season 1 because it was a really, really good show. It's a sleeper, and I think a lot of people probably slept on it, but it was really, really good. So go take a gander. For all of you that are P Valley fans, and I don't know if we can change this to the P Valley show, but listen, the BGKH show loves P Valley, and so just so that we're clear, this is going to be a grand renewal, and that's the good news that we got the other day. During the week of October 20th. So Starz announced this grand renewal of the acclaimed drama series for its 3rd season. The Lionsgate television produced series will consist of 10 episodes, just like the 2nd season did. Now, the 2nd season debuted in June and wrapped up in August. It showed the Pink in a state of transition as it struggled to stay open during the pandemic. In the midst of trying to keep his doors open, we saw a power struggle for control between 2 familiar faces and a host of new faces who came and shook up the dynamics of the club. Season 2 was praised for digging deeper in the lives of backstories of the characters as darkness descended upon Chucalissa. And listen, according to Starz, the show's sophomore season averaged nearly 10.3 million viewers across the linear VOD and streaming platforms, which is video on demand. And that was streaming platforms domestically per episode, which was up 23% in comparison to season 1 in the same time frame. However long it takes for the show to make its return, I'm sure people will surely be waiting with anticipation because I know we are. Stay tuned for some more updates. As we get updates, we'll definitely let you know what's going on. But in the meantime, go catch up on season 1 and then go check out season 2 as well, because again, you have time. This is now the time to do it. Everything is in the down season when stuff is not up. So just take your time, get caught up. So when we get back on the air and we are talking about all these shows, you will know exactly what we're talking about. So go and take your time and go check out season 1 and season 2. In other news, Miss Cardi B has been in the news as well. Shocker. But she's in the news this time because she was pushing back at Madonna over her sex book. So does anybody remember the sex book? I know I do. I remember. I thought it was like the most
I
amazing.
remember.
I just thought it was
I
amazing.
don't know that I ever saw it yet.
Yeah, I saw it. Of course.
Or maybe I did see like a few, but that
Yeah,
was what in the early that was in the 80s. So, I was a little young then. I wasn't fast like the girls in Philadelphia.
She tried it. She tried it. But anyway, Madonna's reflecting on a time when she created her iconic book Sex. And if you have never seen it, I definitely will tell you to go ahead and take a look at it. For those of us that are, we're going to go ahead and say it fast. And
Yes.
and for those of us that are in the leather community, some of it might not necessarily be as shocking, but again, it's still a pretty good
These
book.
days it's not.
No.
Nowadays, I mean, you can see all of that shit on Twitter and more. So,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So listen, the Grammy Award winner, who is 64, we're talking about Madonna, she celebrated the 30th anniversary of her controversial book, which came out in 1992, with a statement on her Instagram story in which she called out those who have sex shamed her while she empowered a whole new generation of stars. She says, and I quote, 30 years ago, I published a book called SEX. In addition to photos of me naked, there were photos of men kissing men, women kissing women, and me kissing everyone. She said, I also wrote about my sexual fantasies and shared my point of view about sexuality in an ironic way. She also says, I spent the next few years being interviewed by narrow minded people who tried to shame me for empowering myself as a woman. I was called a whore, a witch, a heretic, and the devil. Now, Cardi B can sing about her WAP. Kim Kardashian can grace the cover of any magazine with her ass, and Miley Cyrus can come in like a wrecking ball. You're welcome, bitches. And then she added the clown emoji to this comment. Well, Cardi did not appear too amused by her statement. She was pointing back to an Instagram caption of her own in which she referred to Madonna as her quote unquote, my real life idol, performing for her at the music icon's 2018 Academy Awards after party, where Kim Kardashian was also in appearance. Cardi says, I literally paid this woman homage so many times because I grew up listening to her. She can make her point without putting clown emojis and getting slick out the mouth. These icons really became disappointments once you make it in the industry. That's why I keep to myself. And that's what Cardi wrote on Twitter. Now, not long after, she said that her and Madonna spoke, and now they've cleared up the air. And so when she actually posted on Twitter, she said, I talked to Madonna. It was beautiful. Have a great day and drive safe, y'all. That's what she posted on Twitter.
right.
Madonna also shared a tweet saying, I love you, Cardi B. Always have and always will. So, listen, I'm sure Cardi was not holding her tongue or wasn't biting her tongue. But we also know that Madonna, being the publicity machine that she is and the publicity whore that she is, and I'm saying that with all positive connotations. Listen, the woman knows how to stir up some controversy. She knows how to get some publicity for herself. I'm sure there's something in there for her eventually. So we'll see how that goes.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Cardi overreacted. I
Could be.
mean, she could have just not said anything. I don't feel like it was making fun of it. Just it's
Well,
just
sometimes
it's
people are in that.
fine. The girls, it's all publicity for all of them. So sure, whatever.
Yeah, sometimes people be in their feelings. Sad news. I'm sure many people have heard about Leslie Jordan, the actor, the comedian, and the musician known for his roles in Will and Grace and American Horror Story, and for his uplifting pandemic Instagram videos, died after a car crash Monday in Hollywood. He was behind the wheel of a BMW when he crashed into the side of a building at Cahuenga Boulevard and Romaine Street at 9:30 a.m. The Los Angeles Police Department officer named Lizeth Lomelli told the Times the longtime actor and writer was declared dead at the scene. It was not immediately clear whether Jordan was killed in a crash or suffered a medical emergency beforehand, but the condition of the vehicle suggested Jordan may have lost control before slamming into the building. And by late afternoon, the BMW had been replaced by bundles of lilies and chrysanthemums and a handwritten note on lined paper saying, "Thank you for being a light in this world. You will be missed. rest in peace.
And he was. I mean, he seemed like just the nicest person.
Yeah, many people. I didn't realize how many people have bumped into him or had pictures
Right.
of
I was on
him.
Facebook. I was like, hey, am I the only homosexual that has not met Leslie Jordan in person?
And listen, I am mad about that because I would have loved to have met him. But
Yes.
Jordan got his big break in 1989 when he was cast in the first season of Murphy Brown. His 30-year career was marked by scene-stealing roles in TV shows such as Bodies of Evidence and Hearts of Fire as well. Jordan, who was 67, won an Emmy in 2006 for his performance in Will and Grace as the character Beverly Leslie. His co-stars were among the many who paid tribute on social media Monday. And Megan Mullally wrote this very, very, very long post on Twitter about Leslie Jordan and what he meant to her and about his comedic timing and the fact that he was just a genuinely nice person. And it was so honest and heartfelt. So shout out to Megan Mullally for that, because it seems like they really had a great relationship. She even talked about how they had just seen each other a month before his passing. And so she said she wanted to spend all this time with him when they were together at that moment. She said she just didn't know that was going to be her last time with him. So she was just happy to be able to love up on him. But anyway, during the pandemic, while holed up in his apartment in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Jordan found his very viral fame with a constant string of comedic videos posted to Instagram. He had 5.8 million followers.
Well, shit.
Exactly, including many celebrities who turned to hear his sassy stories in his Southern accent. And again, like Dominion just said, well, shit. What are y'all doing? Which was one of like the funniest things ever. He gave colorful reactions to new music, such as Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's The WAP. He created dance montages. He was just doing everything. He stated that a friend of his called him from California and said, "You've gone viral." And he said, "No, honey, I'm fine. I don't have COVID." So he said he didn't know how he did it, but because now he said, but now, or at the time, he said he was scrambled for content. Every day he was thinking, oh my God, I need to post. What should I come up with? We will miss that part about him, as well as just him as a person. But beyond acting, Jordan also dabbled in music as an extension of his Instagram posts, where he sang hymns on Sundays. He was rooted in his church upbringing. Those videos inspired him to make an album of country gospels, 2021's Company's Coming, which featured guest stars Dolly Parton and Brandy Carlisle. I didn't even know that. Good for him.
Me either.
I didn't even know he had an album. So, but listen, rest in peace, Leslie Jordan, or rest in heaven, rest in afterlife. Just be well and yeah, just be well.
Yeah, because when I saw it, I was like, because when I saw it at first, you know how the girls just post screenshots on Facebook, and I'm just like, is this what we're doing now? So this is news. You're just posting a Facebook from TMZ, so or just like a picture of the headline from TMZ. So I was like, okay, well, sure. And then I actually Googled it, and then I was like, well, shit.
Exactly. Kanye West.
So I've not really paid attention to this because I didn't really like Kanye West to begin with, but I don't like most music, and I just didn't really care for most of his music, so I didn't care. But then as he started getting more into the crazy, it's just really,
Hey, listen, I can't say that I haven't bought 2 of his albums, and I probably listened to them probably. Well, I can't say I haven't listened to them. I've listened to a couple of them because they were good at the time. But anyway, Kanye West has been in the news recently, and his recent controversial antics have caused him to fall out of the 10-digit club, having lost his billionaire status amidst the termination of several lucrative partnerships, namely the likes of Adidas, as well as Balenciaga and a couple other people. Now, on Tuesday, Forbes officially reported that Ye had lost his billionaire status following Adidas ending their partnership with him, alongside Gap as well as Balenciaga. The Adidas deal alone accounted for 1.5 billion of his net worth, according to Forbes. That leaves him now at only a measly 400 million value. Now, although the Adidas deal wasn't necessarily the main reason Yeezy's fortune fell. It was described as a huge part of his wealth and the final nail in the coffin in regards to his position as a billionaire. Now, again, like I said, after the fallout, he's still around the $400 million mark. But again, a far cry from a few years ago when his net worth was at 1.3 billion. Earlier this month, all of this started because earlier this month, Kanye tweeted that he would go DEFCON 3 on Jewish people and was sure to note that he actually can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jews also. The more you talk about it, the more ridiculous it sounds. And as I'm repeating these words in this article, it's just ridiculous. But listen, this 45-year-old man has some issues, and as of today, it was reported today that this man decided to show up at in LA at the Skechers office unannounced, but was escorted out of the building by two executives. I guess he was going to try to rekindle his sneaker deal that he had with Adidas, but this is what Skechers said.
That's at Skechers.
Right, but this is what Skechers said. Skechers is not considering and has no intention of working with West. We condemn his recent divisive remarks and do not tolerate anti-Semitism or any other form of hate speech. The company said in a statement, the company would like to again stress that West showed up unannounced and uninvited to Skechers corporate offices. They kicked his ass out the door. They showed him the door. They said, Kanye, that way.
Well, not only all of that, but it's also interesting that no one had all of this to say when he said slavery was a choice or white lives matter or all of this. And I'm not at all saying that, I'm not saying that we should have let the Jewish thing slide too, but it's just always interesting that, well, you know what? It's because, Jews tend to stick together, on this shit in a way that Black people don't. Even when other Black people are saying crazy shit, first of all, part of it is that a significant number of Negroes believe all of this crazy shit about Jewish people. The other half are just like, I don't care. Because, you colors are not paying attention to what's going on in the world. And, when shit really goes down, I feel like there's a lot of people that's going to get left behind. But I don't want anything bad to happen to Kanye because I just don't want bad things to happen to people. But this is going to end in violence. He's going to end up doing something crazy, and he's going to end up being shot to death.
Hopefully not, but I am going to add something else to that. He also lost his contract with Def Jam as well, just so that we're clear. We just going to
Oh, well.
So that means that there may not be any music from him at all. So,
oh no.
Yeah, I mean,
and my thing is, I always felt like, so Kanye West was that Negro, or is that Negro that people sort of, that white people sort of tolerate because he's a coon and a clown, and because his designs were trash.
Which was how they were exhibited. Which was how they were exhibited and displayed at the Gap. He wanted these damn things to be put out in trash bags. Kanye, this existentialism, nothing matters, everything is apocalyptic mumbo garbage. No, just no, just no.
And no. And it's just, yeah. And so I felt like because he was that coon that was sort of tolerated by white folks, and not all, but like the corporate powers that be, they could say, no, we like you people too. We have a partnership with Kanye, but also they're not partnering with Telfar. You know what I mean? Yes, one person was partnering with, what was his name? Victor Abloh, the black guy that died.
Yeah.
But they didn't have those kinds of deals. And these are like legitimate designers. They're partnering with this fool who's saying stuff. And DL Hughley, who I also don't really care for these days, said something that you ever notice Kanye only gets crazy when it benefits his pockets. So like he'll be quiet for months and years, but when he's got when he's got a design, he's got a show coming out or a new album, he says something crazy to stir up controversy because people are so stupid that they will accept this foolishness from him and make him money. Whereas I'm just like, I'm not going, if I don't like you, you saying dumb shit is not going to make me like you. I personally don't buy into, oh, I'm going to do this because this person is in the news. Yeah, and suddenly,
And suddenly will become
and suddenly he'll
pro-black.
become pro-black. And when he does, I'm going to be like, the Negro delegation has already traded you for
Yeah.
an apple and
In fact,
a
we've
pair
traded
of
you for
Adidas.
we've traded you for the raisins in the potato salad. How about that?
Right. We've traded you.
And we
We've
don't even want
traded
that,
you and Stacey Dash and
Candace.
Candace. Oh, child, don't even get me started on Candace because I saw some
And
uh
Herschel.
oh, child, Herschel. She too dumb to even notice she's being traded. She don't even know what that means. Um, and that's sad too because we really should be hoping this dude's get some mental health counseling because that dude, baby, I saw some interviews with Herschel Walker and I was like, those words literally made no sense.
Listen, there needs to be a whole intervention, a crisis team on hand to help Herschel, Kanye, and Candace. And we might as well put cousin Stacy in there as well. Do not come out of this room. This needs to be, matter of fact, this needs to be a reality show on MTV. Converting coons. That's what we, that's what we need to be. Converting coons.
Yeah.
Azalea Banks. Hey
She
Atlas.
just
I don't know if I
she
don't know if I
just
would want to
keeps
trade her.
saying dumb shit though.
She does say dumb shit though.
Like oh no, that was Candace the other day that said Candace Owens the other day said that Beyonce and Taylor Swift make objectively terrible music. And so she you know how people say dumb shit, like it's usually like coons or it's usually conservatives, and not just black conservatives, but conservatives who say something that they know people are going to take offense to, and it's like they're trying to get attention. So she said, "I know, as people are going to have something to say about this, but Beyonce and Taylor Swift make objectively terrible music." And I'm like this: listen, I don't give a fuck about Taylor Swift. I do not. But millions of people like her, so she must be making music good enough for them. And Beyonce, it's always black conservatives coming after other black people, and then they wonder why no one supports them. I once said to a friend of mine who, well, he was an acquaintance and I don't fuck with him no more, but he's conservative. He was like, well, why do we all sit together? I said, because if we don't hang together, we will surely hang separately. And
Absolutely.
throughout our existence in this country, being or saying I'm not like them other niggas has never worked out. Never. Never. Because they will still whip you. They will still rape your mama and your sister and you. So trying to be separate and saying I'm not like those other Negroes has never worked out. And you always notice that black conservatives always come for other black people until something crazy happens to them, and then they want to be pro-black. The first example of that was O.J. Simpson. Now, O.J. Simpson didn't say like real crazy shit, but O.J. Simpson didn't really fuck with
It
other
was his
black people.
actions. It
It
was
was,
his
and it
actions.
wasn't just him marrying a white woman, because lots of Negroes
No,
marry white women,
no.
but it was
That
the
was
way
yeah.
he acted towards other
Yep.
black people. But
Yep.
once he got into trouble, he was like black power.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it was.
So fuck him, fuck Herschel Walker, fuck Guy Ritchie, fuck.
Listen.
Anyway,
So have
I
you
have not. No.
so let's start with Black Adam. Come on.
Yes. Now, Black Adam was cute.
I
Did
enjoyed
you
it.
like Black Adam?
I absolutely enjoyed it.
And I did not enjoy it for the reason that some people did, because The Rock has never really done it for me. She don't
I
put no
mean,
toot in
he's
my
just
horn.
no, he's just. I mean, he's just there. But the story and the
The
way things were happening,
story was really good. It was
that was
good
I enjoyed that.
representation.
Yes,
It
I
was
enjoyed it.
talking about how the the moral of the story for all brown people is that no one is coming to save us. We have to save ourselves. We have to be our own heroes. And everywhere in that movie, the movie was about people with superpowers, but it was really about that little boy, his
Yep.
mama. It was about Black Adam. Well,
It was about
it was about the slaves and
exactly.
others, and it was people with no power and nothing but the power of charisma and leadership and wanting to do the right thing. So I felt like that was a really good message wrapped up in a superhero story. And plus, old boy that played Hawkman, oh, she could get it.
Play Hawkman. Oh yeah.
What's the brother? Hold
I
on.
can't think of his name,
Let me
but
look. Let me look it
baby,
up.
what I
Black
will say
Adam
is
cast.
he played the shit out of Hawkman. When I tell you that
Aldous Hodge is his name.
when I tell you that he was an angry fighting soul, just like Hawkman. What I like that I enjoyed. I absolutely enjoyed that. I absolutely
Yes.
fucking enjoyed that.
And Pierce Brosnan,
And Pierce,
bitch,
don't
I
listen.
just want to have that hair. Baby, his hair was laid like shit. And that British accents too, he was just like,
Let me
yes,
tell you
of
something.
course.
Besides Sean Connery and Roger
Mhm.
Moore, Pierce Brosnan was motherfucking. He embodied everything about Bond for me, and he still because Bond was smooth as shit, but
Mhm.
Pierce is still smooth than a motherfucker. And
Right.
his version of Captain Fate, I said, baby, come on, Captain Fate, yes, God.
Right. So
Oh,
he was sexy. Let me see the rest of the cast. Here's what I was like,
the young
Cyclone.
lady, yes,
Cyclone, I was like, she
yeah.
didn't need to be. She could have. They could have cut all of her scenes out, and the movie would not have changed an inch.
She was listen. She's a pretty
She's
girl.
gorgeous. She's a pretty
She's a
girl.
pretty girl.
She's
She's
a
a
pretty
pretty girl.
girl.
She's a pretty
She's a
girl.
pretty girl. But she was unnecessary to this movie.
Yeah,
And listen, I love black people. I'm always rooting for everybody black. But her in this movie, she ain't really do much for me.
yeah. She was kind of filling a seat for me, and yeah, that was about it. And
Yeah.
even what's his name? What is it? Adam Smasher or whatever the other superhero's name
Yeah,
was.
he looks like he's mixed with something.
He gave me reject Ant-Man vibes, and it was okay. Like he could have we could have done without him as well. Like he was just they were just there.
Well, he was definitely the comic relief. So I feel like without him, I mean, yeah, he was not integral to the plot, but he was at least comic relief. The
But
other the woman,
Black Adam himself was fucking hilarious.
Black
He's
Adam
like
was tell
he
them
was
that.
like, we do
Oh,
not kill people.
right.
And he was like, did you kill him? He's like,
I did like him. I liked when I say the twist at the end, I don't mean the mid-credit scene, but the twist at the end when we did, there was a reveal about him and the relationship to the slave boy and all of that. I thought that was beautiful. And
yeah.
they sort of got me because I thought the movie was over at one point, and then I was like, "Oh shit, we still got like 20 more minutes of this movie." It's like,
Baby.
"Oh, okay, we still got some shit to go through." So
But that damn
the
Viola
plot, like
Davis,
that Viola Davis can't do no wrong.
baby, she can't do no wrong. But when I tell you her character, when she is old nasty, listen, that's that hooker that you want to have in your on your side at all times. At
Mm-hmm.
all times.
Yes,
All times. She
right,
calls in favors from everywhere.
right.
All times. I love it. Love it, love it.
And I'm not going to reveal anything, but stay your ass in your seat
When the
when the
credits,
credits start rolling,
yes, just stay in your seat.
because when we were sitting in the theater, I was sitting there because everybody else was sitting there. Because I'm not one of those people that gets online because I want to see the movie. So I don't read everything
Oh, I
about it
knew it was
ahead of
coming.
time. So I
I knew
did
it
not
was
know it was coming. But I saw everybody else. Well, first of all, Azamek did not move. And I know he does all of the reading about this stuff. And no one else in the theater got up when the credits started rolling. And I was like, this is also a superhero movie. So we
so
know
no, yeah,
that
you don't you
something
move
was
your
happening.
ass in a superhero movie.
And then the screen came back on and there was the reveal. And baby, I'm not one of those girls, but I was like, ah! I literally said, ah!
I was fangirling out because listen,
Yes.
fangirling. Because I'm and you know they're supposed to be they're releasing a second one for him.
Of Black Adam.
No,
Oh, the cameo? A movie or oh well shit, then I need to catch up because listen, let me
see,
tell you, baby.
listen,
Mm,
they're trying. There's and I
mm.
was like, I'm here for it. Now I don't know. They haven't started. I haven't got any word they started filming, but they've just
Oh,
gone
I
through
knew.
the
Oh, I knew
process.
that part. I thought you were saying it was already done.
No,
Now,
no. They're in
all
that
I will say is that I did not know that he was British. And
process.
when I saw him on the show and he started talking all that British talk, and I was like, I started tingling in my intimacies.
Come on, British talk.
he he just was saying hello my name. Well, he doesn't sound like a chimney sweep. He was like, hello, my name is so and so, and
He
today
was,
we will
he-
talk about, and I was like, ah.
which is another reason why I love Pierce Brosnan.
Hmm.
Love Pierce Brosnan.
He's only 6'1" though. I thought that motherfucker was like almost 7 feet tall.
Who? The one we're talking about?
The one we're
Or
talking
Pierce
about.
Brosnan? Yeah,
The
well,
one we're talking about.
that's because everybody else is so motherfucking short. That's the
Yeah.
problem. We're like, oh my god, he's so tall. Like, no, everybody else is short.
I mean, 6'1" is not tiny, but I
No,
thought that he was like
listen,
six
at 5'10"
nine.
and a half, 6'1" ain't that tall. Like, I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, like shit, I'm a
I
giant.
mean, I would not try to fight her. I mean, let's be clear. I'm not trying to fight him because I
Oh, now
seen his
listen,
workout regimen. I would just have to take the L on that one. I would have to hope that all that muscle, he's not as fast, and I could just duck around a corner or something.
listen. I'm not gonna sit here and say I can whoop his ass, but let's be
I mean,
clear.
I'm gonna kick him in the shin or something.
I'm gonna make my presence known before I go down.
Right.
I'm just saying. Call it
Right.
what you
Listen. I'm not gonna die alone.
listen. Call it what you like, but that's what we're gonna
Right.
do. So, but now, have you also had a chance to take a look at and tune into Interview with a Vampire?
I have seen the first 2.5 episodes. I Baby, she's giving. First of all, if you've ever watched if you watched Game of Thrones, then you know who the main character is. He was Grey Worm on Game of Thrones, and he was sexy then as the eunuch.
I
But
did not
in
watch it.
this scene, he is giving me everything that I need. It's you know, child, this is gay TV. This is a
So
gay love story.
Gray Worm. So that was Lestat.
Grey Worm, no, that's Louis. The black guy that plays Louis was Grey
he was Gray
Worm
Worm.
on Game of Thrones.
I didn't
Yes,
watch. So I didn't even realize there was black people in the show. That's why I'm like, okay, this is what we're doing.
yes, there are black people in the show, but yeah. So I love it. It's super gay, like super gay, like
Mm.
surprisingly so. Like in some ways, it's because I read the
Oh,
book, The Interview with a Vampire.
but
It's
there
much
was
more gay than the book.
well, I don't necessarily know. There were so many undertones in the book and the way
There
things were
are
written.
undertones, but there
Yes,
are overtones in this
these are
show.
over. She just turned the volume up because it's there, but she just
Right.
turned the volume up. Now for
Yes.
the visual piece, especially the turning piece, like
Hmm.
when that
When they were naked and floating in the air. Yes. Ooh. Ooh. Someone internet connection dropped. Oh, she dropped off altogether. We'll give her a chance to come back. So anyway, y'all know I ain't never really fuck with Epic like that too tough, so I'm glad it's just me and you. No, I'm kidding. I love her like a fungus. Oh, don't get AMC just so you can watch it, Lola. If you've already got child, what happened is your connection dropped. Epic just messaged me, talk about what happened. Oh, there she is.
What the fuck happened? Like, what is going
You're
on?
like, child, what happened? I was like, girl, your connection dropped.
Like, what the fuck? Like, okay.
You can't be used. Listen, you cannot use your Boost mobile phone as a hotspot anymore.
I listen. I used to get on Cortland about that shit all the time. I'd be like, stop using that damn 52nd Street mobile bullshit. Stop it.
Right.
So I don't know what the fuck.
But no, yeah. So I am loving Interview with the Vampire. It's just a lot going on with life. But I will have fully caught up with that and watched American Horror Story. American Horror Story is actually going to be American Horror Story is not going to be the topic of my next Dominion's Opinions, but it's going to be about how the gays are forever giving away our gay secrets. And it's not just gay secrets, but queer secrets, because
and they're not even secrets.
They're not secrets.
It's just shit that, just like there's, for instance, Black people are probably the only people that talk about the container on the back of the motherfucking stove that holds the bacon grease, and or the chicken grease underneath the sink, or that fish grease that they, you know what I mean? Like we don't. It's not a secret. But
and then there's always Black people. So there's this concept of the cookout, and so then there's always some Black people who will like invite some random white person, and it's not a white person that we know, because listen, I'm not mad at you for bringing your white girlfriend, your white boyfriend, your partner of whatever ethnicity and gender identification to the
Come
event.
on, Morgan.
But there's always Black people who want to invite non-Black people to the cookout for doing basic human shit. And it's the same with the gays. The gays are forever inviting non-gay people or non-queer people into gay spaces and into queer conversations, and then they'll look up and wonder why those spaces have been taken over by bridal parties and stuff. Remember, because a perfect example, remember how we used to go and kiki and cut up, it's gone now, but at Ziegfeld's, because they had butt naked ass strippers.
Yeah.
And whether you really like the strippers, the individual strippers or not, it was just a cool thing that you could actually go to a place where men were 100% naked. There was no strip tease because they came out naked. So there was no like, oh, let me show you a little. No, they came out butt naked with cock rings on, so their dick was hard immediately, right in your face. You see? Oh, my knuckles are ashy.
Yeah, they did. But and there were also rules, because listen, I have taken my grace with me to the club, but we had very strict instructions. Before we walked into the place, while we were there, and afterwards. That was it.
But what happens, it's always the same pattern, whether it's the strip club or the queer gay brunch restaurant. You bring your little straight friend, and then she comes with you a few times, and then she starts coming with her girlfriends, and then they start coming with their boyfriends, and then eventually they start getting married and having children. And then now all of a sudden, the spot that used to be like 99% gay, you walk in and now someone's looking at you crazy across the table because you're talking about, nothing, all of the guys that you fucked last night. And she's like, excuse me, my daughter's trying to eat. I was like, bitch, this is an all you can drink brunch. If you wanted to take your daughter somewhere, take her to fucking Denny's or IHOP. Why would you even bring a child to a spot where no one gives a shit about the food, although the food is good. We came here for the all you can drink beverages. Why would you even bring a child to this function? But you know who brings a child to a function like that? Them bitches that kept bringing that baby to the fucking Alchemy bar.
We're gonna dash over that.
Yeah. Anywho, so I will catch up before the next show on Interview with the Vampire and American Horror Story.
Lord. Anyway, so but I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to actually tonight should be the next
episode 2
of American Horror Story.
Mm-hmm.
It should be episode 3.
Okay. Oh, that's right, because the first 2 episodes came out.
It should be
all right.
3 or 4, I think. I can't remember.
The first episode, the first night was 2 episodes. I remember seeing that. So one more story. Hampton University football player Byron Perkins made history on last Wednesday, a week ago today, by becoming the first football player at an HBCU to come out as gay, according to Sports Illustrated. He's a starting defensive back for the Hampton Pirates, came out on his Instagram stories when he said, I decided I'm going to make a change and stop running away from myself. I'm gay. Let it be known that this is not a decision or a choice. Yes, this is who I am. This is who I've been, and this is who I'm going to be. Simply put, I am who I am. He was interviewed by Outsports.com, which is an LGBTQ sports news site. He shared that his coaches have been supportive and the reception from his team has been very good, but a bit mixed. He says, quote, I've been self-reflective and trying to prioritize what makes me happy and makes me feel alive. I thought it could be just football in school, but there was a component missing. And recently I've been able to figure out that I haven't been fully happy because everyone didn't know who I was. Authenticity is everything to me. He went on to thank his family and friends who have supported him, as well as those he may lose, expressing that all have helped him to grow into the young man he is today. He says he hopes that living his truth will inspire other Black gay men to feel comfortable about being who they are, especially at a HBCU. Yeah, I'm sorry for laughing. Young Black gay men need an outlet. They need a support system. There hasn't been an out gay football athlete at an HBCU. I want to end the stigma of what people think. I want people to know they can be themselves. It's about that kid who's going to see this and think he can be himself too. I mean, good for him. I'm not at all mad at him. I'm just nervous for him because,
I'm concerned.
because at least if he comes out in college or professionally, them girls got a lot to lose, so they might not do anything crazy. But these are just dudes from around, and now they're gonna be acting crazy in the locker room and stuff. So I'm just concerned. And you know what? The ones that's gonna be complaining the most is ugly.
Or are the ones that are fighting with something themselves. But
they're
again,
fighting demons. Right.
I'm
It's so funny. I saw something that said, child, she been talking about she fighting demons all this time, and the demon turned out to be homosexuality.
Child.
It wasn't no demon.
All that. Speaking of which,
it was Damon. Maybe that was his name.
You did not. I found something today on the Twitters that made me kiki and cackle for just a bit.
Okay.
Someone posted, she said, if you're not dating to marry, then you're dating for heartbreak. Let that sink in. And then someone responded and said, I'm dating to get my vagina licked, Emily.
Listen, because that whole, I remember there was a couple of girls I remember meeting in high school and college. It was like, yeah, I'm only dating to get married. I'm like,
God bless your soul.
Yeah, God bless your soul, because
and God bless your whole.
I mean, most people that you date, you are not going to marry. So you're setting yourself up for disappointment.
Listen.
So, but good for you. Meanwhile, I'm out here just trying to get my dicks up.
And wait a minute. I found this one today before we got online, before we got on the show today.
Mm-hmm.
Someone posted to that bow-legged bitch at McDonald's that gave me unsalted fries. I hope you slip and break your ankles on spilled ketchup tonight.
Damn. Someone just posted on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends said, Kanye just got out of every contract without legal repercussions or fines. Genius. I mean, that is one way to look at it.
That's
You
one way
know,
to
you
look
made
at
all,
it.
listen, he made all of his money off of them. So, yeah, he took away his partnership, but the money that was in his actual pocket has not gone away. So
No.
he's
And
made that money.
he still has a 5% stake in Kim's business as well.
Right.
Spanx.
So, you know, he did all of that and got away with all of this. So, I mean, not good for him, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, well, we shall see. We shall see. But anyway, yeah, it's about that
Sorry.
time.
It is.
It's about that time, but I also noticed this morning I'm driving in the dark. I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
But
I
then
feel like daylight savings time is about to happen soon.
doesn't it happen? It happens next month, right?
I don't know. I'm about to look it up.
I think it does happen next month.
November the 6th.
Yeah. And how about oh God. My ass just got booked into I have a conference I need to go to this weekend, next Sunday, or
Mm-hmm.
this Sunday coming. And I was originally going to drive up by myself. It's in Cambridge, Maryland, or whatever, like
Mm-hmm.
whatever, like an hour, 2 hours away. Somehow I have my boss and our office and the director in the car with me, and then on top of that, my director said, "Can you come pick me up from the airport?"
No, girl. Oh, I'd have been like, no, I would have been like, I'm already going to be in Baltimore, so I'll just drive up from there.
No,
I
no,
would have
no,
put the kibosh
no,
on
no,
that shit
no, no, no.
already.
I haven't had any conversation with him. I invited her because I felt bad for her, and then she invited him. That's the part where I'm like, I was by myself,
Oh.
and now you just invited. But then I'm sitting there saying to myself, okay, well, you are my boss. I was like, okay, I'ma just. But you know what? This is the time for me
How
to have
long
this
is this
conversation.
conference?
It's 2 days.
Oh, so if you want to, so all right, so here's I'm always looking at it from a angle of getting my dicks up. So the event ends for the day on Monday at
Tuesday.
5:30. I know, but each day I'm saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Sunday night y'all get there
We get.
and you
We'll
you
get there
get on
Sunday.
you get Sunday morning.
We'll get there Sunday morning before 12.
All right, so fine. So, you get on Grinder, you find some trade. The trade happened to live like a mile away, or maybe he's even staying at the same hotel because he's there for business or whatever. Or he lives somewhere and you want to go dip out. Now they're like, hey, Epic, we wanted to go get something to eat. You ready to no, girl? Because now they're looking at you to be the driver.
That's not happening. Yes, Lola, that's
So go
exactly
ahead.
where we're going.
So go ahead, Miss Daisy.
That's exactly where we're going. So and that's what I said. I was like, I got to drive Mister and drive and Miss Daisy. I said, okay. And
Look at you.
I
So we're gonna call you. We're gonna call you Hoke.
listen. I very clearly said to her, I said, let me tell you something right now. There will be no conversations about my driving nor my musical selection. And
Oh God. Oh
yeah,
yes.
and I think we had this conversation. Because of his faith, I think there's an issue. I'm not an issue, but there could be some sparks. And
Like
you think
what?
you think I'm getting ready to edit my music playlist? Oh no, 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 no. So
I
when
would.
I'm
You
not,
could just can't you just pull out some jazz or something? Just pull out your Ella Fitzgerald playlist or early Janet Jackson playlist or something.
you asked to ride in my car.
Yeah, but they are signing your
Listen,
paycheck, girl. All right, listen, you do whatever you'd like.
listen.
Whenever I have work people in the car, I just be like, listen, jazz. That's gonna give us some Ella. That's gonna give us some Frank Sinatra. That's gonna give us some Tony, and everybody's gonna be fine.
All I'm saying, I'm not getting ready to go all the way in, but on my like if I hit shuffle on my
You like
Apple,
boom, Burn up, burn up, boom, boom. Burn up, boom, boom. Burn up, boom, boom. Hey, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. About none of that shit. Big booty hoes, hop with it.
I mean,
Don't stop, pop that pussy and let me see your doo-doo brown. I wanna rock, I wanna rock, I
listen,
wanna rock. And
we are
then how
all
about your boss is gonna be like, oh, that's my motherfucking jam.
we are all around close in age, probably within a 7 to 10 year age difference. So I
Uh-huh.
know good and damn well they didn't have heard all these songs. So don't sit back and play dumb that you ain't never heard. I don't hear that shit. I don't hear that shit. I don't. And my coworker, she's my boss as well. Uh, she, she is born and raised in DC. When I say born and raised in DC, like she's like it comes out every night. She'd be like,
No.
girl.
She got to
Now,
reel it back in real quick.
so, but anyway, that's where we are. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. But I also these are the times where I actually get a lot of conversation, not conversation. I'll get a lot of not non-work, but work done without working, just because we'll be having conversations, and I'm fine with that. It's probably it's going to be 3 hours, in total of time spent where we can directly. I don't have to go through the hubbub of reaching you through Teams. No, you write in the car with me. So I got a question. Tell me about this. So that's how I'm looking at it. So I might turn the music
I'm
down.
looking at it like, girl, since we working all day on Sunday, are we taking Friday off or how that work?
No. We go back in on two. I may not go in on Wednesday when we, but I no, I'm
My point is that you will already have worked 40 hours before you get to Friday.
absolutely. Oh, I'm taking some time off. That's not even gonna be an issue. I just don't know which day it's gonna be, but it's probably not gonna be Friday. But anyway.
Right. Well, all right, girl, let's get into these beautiful bean footage.
Cool.
You were saying something?
Yeah, I was saying Lola. She said she heard the place was nice. I'll let you know. Definitely, I'll report out because we are. This is an interesting piece because every time I've gone to these professional conferences, I've always had to share rooms, which kind of annoyed me.
Ooh, who
Now,
you sharing a room with now?
nobody.
Oh.
The counselors are sharing a room, but I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not a counselor anymore.
Yes, bitch. She was like, I am management.
It's like I am not a and that used to get on my nerves because it made no sense to me. I was like, you want to like why that doesn't even make any sense. They were like, well, two guys together and the two girls together, and that kind of dictated how they were going to. And I was like, everybody should have their own damn room. Everybody's grown. Like that's just how I feel
Right.
about it.
That's how I feel about it too. I was like, I've never been on a work trip with where I had to share a room with somebody. I'd be like, well, then I'm not going. I'm just
Yeah,
because
like
I just don't see myself sharing a room, a hotel room with a total stranger.
Yeah, I just that bothered me, and I used to always, but now it was at the expense of not taking a trip to Vegas, or not taking a trip to where was the other one? Was it San Antonio? No, not San Antonio. Somewhere else. Maybe was it Florida? I think one was in Florida and one was in Vegas. I was like, oh no, I'm going. Like I'll just have to get in this room. I'm fine with that. But I still did my shit outside the room.
Of course.
That was cool. That was cool.
I need, because I don't like to share a room with people because, like when when I need to use the facilities, you know. And so
I
if I did have to share the room, I'd be like, well, I guess I need to go downstairs to find the other restroom or something because
I did share my room with two of the coolest people that I work with in my office. And I even told my job, I was like, listen, I was like, I'll share the room with with my angels because it was three of us that were three women that I worked with that I was cool with, Danetta, Dolores, and Katoya, and the three of them were cool. I was like, we all share a room together because this we just all get along. But they were like, no, we're not doing that. I was like, okay, whatever. But I did share the room with one of the coolest people, one of the other coolest white guys that I worked with at that time. He was gone. He was like, listen, he said, I walked down the strip. We were in Vegas. He said, I walked down the strip. He said, every time I passed the bar, he said, I figured it was my time to go in and grab a beer from every bar I passed. I said, well, bitch, how many beers did you have? He said, well, I had about 6 or 7, I think. And I was like, you 6 or 7, you think? He said, yeah, I kind of lost count, and it might have been more, but I was like, okay. So he was
well,
asleep on
God
the
bless his
couch.
ministry.
Yeah, he was asleep on the couch and just knocked out. I was like, poor
Hmm.
thing. Meanwhile, I was stretched out, snoring and farting. I was like, okay, whatever. But yeah. But anyway,
Well, all right, kids, it's been lovely.
yes, it has. Yes, it has. Yes,
Oh
it has.
yeah, if you are in the DC metro area, join Onyx on Friday at the Baltimore Eagle, and then Saturday at the Green Lantern for our annual
And
Iniquity Halloween costume party. There's no theme, just come in a fab costume and have a good time with the men of Onyx. So party time.
yay. Yay. I have no idea what this look is going to be. I have several components. We're gonna try to shuffle around and do some sort of Yahtzee and figure it out.
Right. So, well, all right, kids. It's been a little bit of a short show, but I hope you've enjoyed it. I certainly have.
Yes. And as always, we really thank you guys for spending your time with us. You could do
Hallelujah.
many, many, many other things that you could be doing, but we definitely appreciate you spending time with us. So there's that.
All right. And with that, we will say thank y'all for coming out. God bless you and good night. Mwah. Bye.